Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt, on the radio, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on talklawradio.com. Let's start with the financial focus with Jacob Warren, who is with Financial Planning HQ. They serve as financial CEO for successful people, and he works with his father, Steve, and his brother, Joseph. Jacob, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Todd. It is a pleasure to be back on the show. I'm looking forward to chatting today.
So for families and business owners who are already working with a financial planner, what are some non-negotiable deliverables they should be receiving?
It's a great question, Todd, and everyone should have what's called a comprehensive written lifetime financial strategy. And what that is a full examination of your financial picture, your cash reserves. So, everyone wants to know, how much money should I have in the bank versus how much should I have invested in the market, right? What's that sweet spot? What's my emergency fund? So ironing that out, giving specific advice on that. Debt management, specifically for a lot of my younger clients who have a lot of student loan debt. They want to know, is the government ever going to help me out? We've been talking about this for 2 years. I say no, but who knows, right? Mm-hmm. But coming up with a strategy to eliminate debt on a schedule that works for them, of course. Insurance. There's a lot of different types of insurance. What do you need? What should you be paying for it? What types of coverages should you have across the whole spectrum of insurance? The one that everybody talks about the most and thinks is the most important is the investment management, right? How I want to know that my portfolio is invested correctly, efficiently as well. And specifically for business owners, especially now we're in March, we're almost in tax month, right?
Right.
So planning out tax projections and coming up with strategies to reduce your taxes and keep a lot of your money away from the IRS, which of course everybody loves to do that, right?
They do. That sounds like an ideal relationship with an advisor. What do most relationships look like between an advisor and their client?
So there's really two, and I can speak, I guess the whole business, Financial Planning HQ, we have a unique perspective on this because we used to operate in those worlds where we were first basically life insurance salesmen. We worked for a big life insurance company, and the idea there was everybody that walks in, get them at least a term policy, you're selling life insurance. And that is one business model. The other one is the AUM, or assets under management business model, where essentially what you do is you gather assets and you charge typically a 1 to 1.5% fee to manage those assets, do a good job for your clients. Those are the two typical ways and relationships that advisors have with clients. And we decided to get away from that a few years back and do our own thing. Being a fully independent registered investment advisor, we just do flat fee, and we've kind of eliminated any kind of conflict of interest that can occur with, I don't have to sell you a product to make money, right?
Right.
And my clients know exactly what they're paying me because it's just a flat fee.
In dollars and cents.
In dollars and cents. I always ask them when I'm meeting with somebody, hey, how much are you paying your financial advisor? And I've run into one person in my career that can tell me exactly how much. Super analytical engineer type fellow, but
right.
He knew exactly how much he was paying, but most people don't. And it's understandable because it's complicated.
Right.
It's very complicated. And that's why we've eliminated that. We don't offer any products or anything like that. So we can give very, very specific advice that is in your best interest because we're not swayed one way or the other.
What does a client relationship look like with Financial Planning HQ and you and Steve and Joseph?
It all starts with a document that is called the Financial Roadmap. And this is really the guiding light for everything that we do in terms of making recommendations and strategies for clients. And what that is it's, let's just use an example. It's husband and wife. It's about an hour 15 long conversation where we talk about what is important to each of them about money. And it's a very unique experience, Todd, because a lot of times people don't know. You don't know,
right.
You don't know, what your wife's deepest thoughts are about money, what she wants to do with it at the end of the day, and what's her higher calling, right? So it can be a conversation where people kind of look at each other like, wow, I didn't know you wanted to do that, or things like that.
Right.
So it starts with the values conversation, and from there, we talk about goals, right? What are some big money, not big money, but what are some goals that you have that require money to achieve, whether it's, buying a house for younger people or retirement, financial freedom, all of that cool stuff. And at the very end of that meeting, we actually take a look at your documents, which in the past, working for other companies, it's okay, you brought in your documents. Let me just jump right into those. I don't know how you feel about money. I don't know anything. I just want to look at your documents to see if I can sell you something. So this conversation is great because we get to truly understand the importance of money to the individual. And the very last part of it is the actual like dollars and cents part of it, where we take a look and decide if we're a good fit to work together or not.
I think that most advisors just assume that people want to retire when they're 65 or 70. And maybe that's not the case.
It's not the case. And actually recently, and people that I've been talking to, it's like 50. It's early. They want to retire. They want to figure out how they can work really, really hard while they're younger and then retire early.
But then what? They're assuming that that's all that they want to do with their money. How can I get you to retirement at that specific age? But you're talking about other financial goals.
Right. Yes. There's many different things that come up when we talk about goals. And it's very, very fun. I'm actually thinking back to a client that I met probably about 5 years ago where they wanted to purchase an RV when they retired. And we came up with a full strategy. This is exactly how you're going to do it. This is how much money you're going to save each month. This is where that money's going to go. Showed them that they can afford it, and then was able to kind of walk them through that process to where they actually got to that point and they had more than enough money to buy the RV, didn't have to take out a high, loan interest rate to do it.
Right.
And they were able to buy it. And it was such a fulfilling experience for me because I was there from the very beginning. This goal came out as a result of the financial roadmap meeting, and they both agreed. And then we just kind of put our heads down and were able to make it happen. It was really fun.
Yeah, I bet. So back to your client relationship, you just meet with them one time?
No, we do not meet with them one time. So the first year of onboarding a client, typically we meet, it can be up to 5 times in the first year. After that, it's 3 times a year. And all of these meetings are like very, very specific. And we have goals for those meetings where we want to talk about different items. What some of those look like is, the first one being an implementation meeting. I have all of your information, all of I know everything that you have in your finances. And here's some specific recommendations we can knock out right off the bat to start improving your situation, whether that's, doing wills, right? Hiring a good CPA, moving your investments from like an old 401k to a higher performing investment account, things like that. And really knocking all those out quickly. And after that, we do what's called a comprehensive safety review, where this really resonates with my older clients, where we basically ask the open-ended question like, hey, what risks do you see to your financial roadmap? What's something that could happen that could completely derail everything? We get feedback on that, and then we come up with a strategy to make sure that they're not going to be affected if that were to happen.
I bet they have peace of mind about that.
Yes, and that's the whole goal, to make sure that there's really nothing that can harm your financial well-being, especially when you're retired.
Yeah. Do you have any resources for our listeners today?
I do, yes. So I typically, my initial meeting is complimentary, of course, but I'm open to just having an initial conversation with anybody that wants to learn a little bit more about comprehensive lifetime financial planning, and how we differ from maybe your existing relationship with your advisor, and offer to complete your financial roadmap. If it's a husband and wife or you're single, take you through that process, complete your financial roadmap, and go from there. There's no strings attached. In fact, you can actually use your financial roadmap with your existing advisor if you wanted to do so. So it's just a great experience. And of course, it's complimentary. I don't charge for that.
Okay. And how can they contact you?
Yes. My direct line is 210-444-2128. You can also find us at financialplanninghq.net.
Okay, that's 210-444-2128. 210-444-2128. Smart financial planning leads to a brighter tomorrow, whether it's achieving or maintaining financial independence, becoming tax efficient, or building business wealth. Steve, Joseph, and Jacob create comprehensive, written lifetime financial strategies that's uniquely yours, based entirely on what's important to you. Don't leave your financial future to chance. Jacob, we've got a few more minutes to talk.
Sure.
Have you noticed anything going on with the market since the U.S. and Israeli strike on Iran?
Yeah, we had one bad day, and then like always seems to happen, the next day is like super green. So I think it's just whenever there's uncertainty, you see things in the market.
Right.
I think it's important, unless you're like a day trader or something, it's important to just long-term vision and not get too panicked when things get a little crazy out there.
So do your clients call you when stuff like that happens?
Only one person called me, but it wasn't a big deal. He really just wanted to talk about the situation, I think.
Yeah.
Which is on top of everyone's mind right now. But I kind of coach my clients through that beforehand and be like, hey, we're not trying to hit home runs or anything here.
Mm-hmm.
And you're protected if things go really poorly. But we want to keep our eye on the long-term success and long-term vision of your overall financial strategy.
Yeah, Steve told me about course corrections along the way.
That's important. Yeah, if things change drastically, if there's a big life change, you can't just stick to your old plan, right? You have to make sure that you can course correct and come up with another plan that works out for you. So
thank you for being here today.
Of course. It's always great to be here. Appreciate you, Todd, and look forward to hearing from some of the audience.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back with Professor Jeffrey Adicott talking about just war theory. Stay tuned.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trusts, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.